started to turn my dreams into reality. I speak it out and then I got a prophecy. Yeah.
Hey guys, welcome. My name is Dapper and you're with me for Dapper Chats. Today I have the absolute privilege and honor of interviewing one of the world's best producers. She's recently released a single, Malibu. So Jem, welcome to the chats. I'm so excited to be talking to you. This is amazing.
I'm so excited to be here. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, first of all, how are you going? How is everything going after the release of Malibu?
It's just been beautiful. I mean, it's a strange time to release music in COVID because you can't go and perform it anywhere. Yeah. So it's a little bittersweet because I do miss DJing and seeing faces looking back at me. It's that energy that you get from other humans. You can't really replace that. But I have had just a really nice time held up in my studio making music and just using this time to, just hone in on the frequencies I want to produce in. And I get to do interviews like this and hearing feedback of Malibu. It's been really beautiful.
Yeah, man, that's amazing. And did you record Malibu in the period of COVID, or was it something that you previously done?
No, it's all been COVID babies. So just locked myself up and making music, and I felt like I was already on this journey of wanting to create something a little more spiritual, and I had been learning about sound healing and frequencies for a while, and then COVID happened, and I thought, the world needs a bit of love right now. We need some positive music and we need some happy inputs, and so it was very intentional in that way during COVID to make something a little tranquil, a little relaxing, and just raise the vibration, because it's a tough time for people right now.
It is. And in this tough time, it's very hard for people to conceive the idea of manifestation, because everything around them looks bleak, and dark. But the power of manifestation, and I honestly have been so excited about interviewing you, because from the moment that I read about the 432 hertz and the way that we vibrate, I knew that you were someone special, because there's not many people that look on a deeper level. So can you please tell me, how did you get to the point where you found out about the 32 hertz and that journey that you now find yourself on?
Yeah, I love that you love it. Thank you. And I think I was doing some sound healing classes in San Francisco. I usually live in LA, but I'm currently in Sydney, Australia, and I'm in studios a lot. And I think a lot of the cool music is quite dark. And I think I was just getting quite worn down, or just a lot of dark inputs, and it was just having a toll on me. And so it was just a very personal thing where I was like, I'm going to make some feel good stuff. And then I thought, well, hang on, what is that? Is it a lyric? Is it a melody? Like partly, absolutely. But I thought, what if there was something that could actually reharmonize and rebalance your cells, and it's actually working from the inside out, as well as the melody, as well as the lyrics. And so I just started researching, and I found this scale called the Cephegio Scale, and that led me down a deep rabbit hole of learning about frequencies. And I stumbled on 432 hertz, which is aligned with the universe, and it felt like the right one to start with, because it does unlock aligning with the universe and manifesting whatever your heart's desires are. And I think that at this time, just like you said, it's difficult to imagine a way out. We're all isolating, it's all very unusual, and we're missing that human connection. And so I just thought 432 is a beautiful way to start this record and introduce the project. And my hope was that people might be a little more receptive to learning about it during a time like this, because it might be something that they're needing.
I think the way that you've done this is absolutely amazing, because right now, when for the first time in the world, people are forced to stop, and when people stop, they look inwardly about themselves and they reflect on themselves a lot more. And just in this last 3 weeks, my whole journey within myself and my spiritual enlightenment has gone crazy. I was in church years ago, and now I'm not in church, but I'm still finding this, myself going down this path where I want to impact people with the love and the positivity. But there's a very strong spiritual side that helps you with that. The song is 432 hertz just blew my mind. I did not realize that until you opened my mind up to that. So it's already changed my life. So that's amazing.
I love that so much. I just love that. I think that it resonates with you. I was listening to your music before I jumped on, and you have so many great messages embedded in your music. And I was like, yes, we are gonna get along. I loved it, you know, and I could just feel your heart through the music. I could just feel it, man. And I thought, you know, that's what it's about. It's about infusing yourself. And I try and be a really positive person, and I'm just trying to create the music that I was looking for myself. And I thought I just want it to be a really good feeling, and I want to leave people a little better than the one I found. And that's just my whole goal. And I think this frequency is really nice. It has this, I think it's a compliment, but my friends keep going, yeah, we listen to your songs and we fall asleep. Like, well, I wasn't trying to put you to sleep, but I love that it's relaxing. And I think that has just that deep relaxation. And as you said, it's a time to stop and contemplate what's next. And if you can do that in a way where you're really doing the deep work, I think that's where the magic lies.
As a generation, we're taught busy, 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 put more stress, more stress, more stress. But our bodies and every living organism on this planet is not designed to undergo so much stress. And so for the fact that your friends say, it makes me want to go to sleep. How many times do you lay up all night not being able to sleep because of stress, you know? So that's a massive compliment. So with this song and Malibu, I know that you've got another EP coming out. Well, so you've got an EP coming out off the back of this in the near future sometime. Is the whole vision about the EP the same as in like unlocking more spiritual journeys and like healing and stuff throughout the whole EP?
Yeah, that's absolutely the whole premise. And it's just each song, some of them are in frequencies like this one, which are really known for healing, and some of them were just my own experiments that just felt good to me, and I've aligned them with different parts of the body and different meanings. I have one on YouTube that's for releasing toxic thoughts and letting go of negative emotions. I think clearing is just as important as healing, and
yes,
they each have their own little purpose, and I just hope that there's one on there for everyone that just hits them in the right way, whatever it is that they need. And I was thinking, might sound crazy, but I was thinking that, you know, as producers, as artists, as musicians, we kind of have a responsibility to make things that are good for people. And you really touched on something when you said, like, we're stressed and we're busy. And I think, you know, even sonically, like sounds, you know, there's sirens and there's glasses and there's noise and there's talking. I know sometimes just sitting in a restaurant is stressful because it's so loud and you're getting louder and louder to talk over everyone. And this time's just been like, okay, silence, stop. And I think we've been able to replenish sonically as well, which is an interesting concept. And I just wonder what the future will be for music and musicians. And I see like feel-good festivals of people like you know, with positive messages, and people like me who are doing spiritual mixes and really raising the vibration.
Well, you know, we're living in a day and age where we're not taught to feel, we're not taught to express ourselves. We are, but when it comes to like being different and standing out and really being different, it's people like yourself that are starting to lead the way when you put out stuff like that, because that's not common knowledge to people. And so for the fact that, you know, I think the future's got a bright future. It's a very, very, you know, you're a light worker, and I can see that you're driven to be able to change lives, and we need more people in the industry that are full of the knowledge behind it, so then they can actually make a difference. And it really hit me when you said about kind of stopping and letting the frequency hit you. I really feel like Malibu, when I was listening to that, it's so, so beautiful. Like the lyrics and the way that you deliver them are so beautiful. And then you leave this beautiful space too, in order to like, it almost hits inwardly and it comes in, and it is able to like, in that space, you're able to, between lyrics, you're able to meditate on the lyrics and also meditate on the vibration and just take it in. It gives you room to heal, if that makes sense.
I love hearing that so much. Thank you. Yeah, I wanted it to feel like a wave unfolding, and you're letting the love out, but you're also letting it in too. I think for a lot of people, we give so much and we forget, hang on, we're in need as well. We need to deliver that back to ourselves. And self-love is so misunderstood. You know, it's not a it's this thing where I think we forget to do it. At least I do, and it's at least what I see with my friends. You know, they're the first ones to pay someone else a compliment or really be grateful to a stranger, and then with themselves they'll be like, oh, I'm not pretty enough, or I'm too fat, or I need to go on a diet, or this isn't right, or I haven't achieved this. And I'm like, whoa. What about being kind to yourself? Like, that's where it starts. And
It is.
I hope Malibu makes people feel good.
Malibu honestly hits. I'm a very I feel things, and like when I listened to that, there was just this sense of absolute peace and calmness. But then there was also this sense of wonder too, like where like when you allow yourself to be hit by that frequency, it comes in and then you relax. You're left almost going, why am I feeling like this? You know, I want to know why I'm feeling like this, because this makes me feel good. We're not used to hearing music every single day. All the music's always coming at you, and it's either, you know, gang related or guns and money and people, materialistic. Yeah.
And then it gets stuck in your head too, and it's so catchy, and then you're repeating, and you're saying these things that you'd never actually say in your real life, but you're almost saying them like an affirmation.
And when you speak out, it's very, very important that you know what you're speaking out, because when you speak it out, the universe will deliver.
That's so true. Oh my gosh, that's so true. I have friends that listen to sad songs, and they watch these really dark shows, and then they're upset, and I'm like, yes, of course, look at your inputs. You know, like what we eat, and it's what we feed our minds and ears and heart, you know.
100%. Did you oh man, it's crazy when you even say that. Like it's just when you go down a path of, like, you know, you want to like learn about enlightenment stuff, like it's even funny about your eating, and everything changes. You know, you want to start feeding yourself with healthier things. The people that you're around, you want to be around healthy people that impact your life in a good way. So I honestly, I already know that your single Malibu is opening up the gateway for a lot of people to do their own self-healing and self-reflecting, but it's also opening up the gateway too for people's minds to be open to receive, okay, well, if you've done that intentionally at that frequency, why is this? And then it's just, that ball is just started rolling, and you're going to gain more and more momentum in helping people. You mentioned that you want this music, and there's no reason why producers can't be like shamans. So what's your experience in that side of it?
Look, I don't really have any experience in that. It's just a concept that I have, and I think that this is my first foray into it. I just see that we could have these experiences. It doesn't have to be a straight music festival, like what I was saying. We could go and it could be, okay, the entire sets are high vibe, and you're going to come and you're going to forget the world, and you're just going to embrace this. And I think that's what people do when they go to gigs and they go to festivals, and they already have this very connected, wonderful experience because they're present. They've already made this conscious decision. I'm going to be here and I'm going to enjoy. So imagine if we're, you know, as the producers and artists, conscious about what frequencies we're feeding them. They're already open. They're there to enjoy. So why not give them something that's going to make their soul full? You know, why not, like what we're saying about feeding positivity? And I just feel like that's my journey right now.
That honestly, that's so inspiring to me, because and I know it's inspiring to a lot of other people too, because like I know for me, when I'm standing up on a stage and I look at people, it brings me back to the day of when I was in church and there was someone standing up on the pulpit, and I realized whatever I say right now, I'm responsible for, because these people are listening. And so whenever I speak into life, I want to impact them in a way they're going to walk away and feel like they're inspired to make a difference, just small differences. But when you subconsciously too, like when they're subconsciously getting fed a vibration that's opening up their heart, you know, they might be there and they might hear a song and they might start crying. They don't know, why am I crying? It's because you needed to let that out through that vibration. So
Absolutely. Touched on something and they've been able to release it. And I think for me, there's like a formula that I've come to that's frequency. So it's really important to be conscious of that. And then your intention behind it. And it's exactly what you just said, because it's your intention, because you're the one speaking it out to the world. So I think that frequency plus intention equals healing. And
yes,
if you get the two things on a good vibe, then you're set, you know, and then people are going to respond well and they're going to have a beautiful experience that's their own and it's unique to them based on whatever they need. And I just love that. I don't think it's the same for any two people, this
yeah,
journey into next level of what we're all experiencing. And I think we're kind of feels like the new world. And I think COVID has maybe accelerated that growth for some people, because exactly like it, you know what you're saying, you're at home and you've had more time to do the self-work. Maybe you're meditating, maybe you're being a little more careful about what you're watching or what you're reading, because you were already feeling a bit sad and a bit isolated, and so you're making these choices that you would not have had the time for before. And that's really special. And I think, well, I hope that people can come out of this a little brighter and a little better.
definitely. I've witnessed it with my own housemates. They own a business, and when they came into it, they were all depressed and frustrated, you know, about situations. And then bang, they come out of it feeling grateful and rested and new ideas. And you look at like this beautiful creation, Malibu. This was created in a time where we were all in lockdown, and now you're spreading this light that's vibrating through people, and it's not just hitting people lyrically wise, but it's hitting people on a very, very heart level, you know, and it's doing major, major like change in lives without us. And you'll never know the full depth of just how many people you've impacted, but knowing that you've taken that step to do that, release that song, and then the EP, it's you're gonna change the world in like a massive way, literally.
Just knowing that you love it makes me happy. Like just one story makes my soul feel good. You know,
Yeah,
like I just that's what it takes, because then you're going to go away happy and you're going to be kind to someone, and then they're going to be kind to someone, and it's just going to steamroll like that.
yeah.
You know, I love hearing that. Thank you so much. You've been so
Um,
lovely.
so with the like with the song Malibu, is this like a has this been a journey to get to the point where now you feel like I'm ready to put this out and start pushing this now, like and moving in this direction? Is this a journey that's like you've come to this point?
Yeah, absolutely. It's funny, we all have our own different timelines, and it's definitely been a journey. I moved to LA 3 years ago, but I was going back and forth, and I mean, it was so overwhelming and so daunting. And I think it's been a very slow and natural, very organic process to slowly dragging myself to the front. Coming out from behind the desk is not a natural thing for me at all. And so it's just been like step by step by step, really slowly. And I think COVID really encouraged me, because I had these songs living inside of me that I wanted to express and I wanted to get out. And I'm not sure if I would have sat down and made a whole record for myself if I wasn't locked in a room on my own. You know, I probably would have kept doing what I was doing, having feature artists and making music for other people. And I think this has been a really nice way to stop and think, hang on, what is it that I actually want to do?
Yeah.
What song do I want to release? And so in that sense, it's definitely been a journey. I could not have told you 3 years ago that this is what I was doing. So it's almost a surprise to myself.
Yeah, but it's crazy too, because 3 years ago you might not have had the same like, you know, belief and energy backing yourself to be able to put into a song, you know, like that. In a sense, like it's all, every bit of your journey has brought you to a point now where, you know, you're moving forward in your journey still, but every little thing makes us, doesn't it?
It does. And, you know, I feel like people are opening up to this side of things as well. I know even a year ago, if I said sound healing to someone, they go, "Oh, gem, so woo woo," you know.
Yeah.
No, it's not. You know, but I think we're just growing up as a culture, and we're learning that there are these things that can be really beneficial used in our everyday lives, and I think sound is one of them. And it can just be your voice, your own voice, like what you
Yeah.
were saying about how you choose to use that is really important.
Yeah, what you say and what you sort of the words you say, they always actions speak louder than words, but oftentimes words are the thing that set up, you speak it out and then your actions will follow and they re-instill like what you've said. And so words are so powerful. Actions are very, very extremely powerful because people follow actions too. But also when you're as a musician, if you're singing something and you're repetitively putting that into your putting that out and someone's listening to that can be the changing point of someone feeling depressed or feeling happy. So it's a concoction that's very, very, very exciting because it's been used against us for so long and now we're using it to change the world. So it's absolutely incredible.
I love
Have,
that.
have you got any advice for young people that necessarily, when they hear this, they don't know where to start? They're like, what are you talking about? What do you mean? Like, have you got any advice for that?
Yeah, I do. I think go onto YouTube and just type in Cephegio scales or alternate tunings, and all these tracks will come up. And you can search by feeling, you can search by what you need. Like, as an example, there's a frequency to shine your light, and there's a frequency to overcome loneliness. And like that, there's just like a whole world. Once you open that Pandora's box, you can go digging for a while. And so I think just Google Cephegio scale or go on YouTube and look it up, and there will be a world of frequencies opened up to you, and you can play at your own pleasure.
100%, 100%. I'm just finding my way. So how long did it actually take you to make the song and produce it?
That was a really quick one. Once I
Yeah.
had the for it, it's produced with a guy called Danny. He was just, I don't know, we've actually never met before because it was during COVID, and he's in Ecuador. But I had heard some drums of his that I really liked, and I was like, this is the guy. And when I zoomed him, he's got like llamas in the background and nature, and I'm like, oh, this is definitely the guy. It was like this, it was super strange and great. And then there's this emerging Australian artist, Alicia Brock, and she has this really ethereal melodies. And I thought, what, I'm going to write this with her. And I was telling her about what was in my heart, and I don't know, like maybe half an hour, and just because I think it had been living in me for so long, and she has this very natural, beautiful way with melodies, and it just fell out. It was honestly so easy. And I've always heard other people say that and thought that's not real, because I've had the long, arduous processes as well, where you sit there for a few days on one line, just going over and over, and this just fell out. And I think that's a testament to the song just needed to be out there. It
Yeah.
was really super quick, and the whole process was done in a couple of days, and sent to
Wow.
my mixer, and he got it back, and off we went.
And the video, like, oh, it's so like beautiful, and like it's simplistic in a way that like is captivating, if that makes sense. Like, I'm watching the video and I'm just like, I feel like I'm in a deep trance meditation, and I feel like that's where, like, when you go into a space and you open up your mind and to the universe, it's literally like that, and you're just like floating, and you're just moving towards like a goal. The tree of life is there. It's like so could you tell me a bit about the video and how you come up with the guy who made it?
Yeah, Hussein, also a guy that I've never ever met, but I had been following on Instagram, and he's done all of my artworks. He's he's brilliant. And I had this dream, and so he's this really creative designer, and I had this dream that I was floating through on my bed and there was like whales jumping over the bed. And I think whales are just such majestic creatures themselves, and I thought, this needs to be the video. I can't shoot a video anyway because it's COVID. So I sent Hussein an Instagram DM and I was like, hey, want to do a video? And his response was like, haven't done one before. I'm like, you'll be great. I believe in you. This is going to be fab. And he's like, okay, this is a bit wild. And he just kept sending me storyboards and we just went from there. And I just think, you know, you find your tribe when you're on your mission and you're putting out something. These people are just popping up out of the woodwork and I'm like, hey, do you want to work on this? And it's just funny seeing them come to life as well. I think art is incredible. And yeah,
it's amazing that you've also, like, the belief that you have in yourself, but you have belief in other people, you know, and you the belief that you impart into them makes them believe in themselves. Like somebody who's not necessarily done a music video, but you're like, no, like, I believe in you, like, I believe you got this. And then he's like, okay, and then he does it, and it opens his world up to another whole, like, thing that he never thought, you know, he was capable of, sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly right. And I think it just takes one. That's my theory. Like, it just takes one person to believe in you. I definitely had that. I'm a very introverted, shy person. And I remember I had someone say to me, and it shook my whole world. And he just looked at me and he's like, Jam, you can be as good as you allow yourself to be. I was like, oh, damn, I've been holding myself back this whole time. Like, nobody else, just me. And that was such a powerful moment. So I think, you know, when I see talent, I want to recognize that and bring it out in them, because I know there are people like me who are sitting in the shadows and maybe feeling like they can't, or feeling like what they have to say isn't important, and it's just not true. You know, we can be our own worst enemies. And so if I can help people shake themselves out of that, I'm all about it.
And that is literally the producer shaman coming out in you, literally. Like, that's, you know, there's producing and caring for people with the music, but you're a very caring person in life too. And so when you put the two together and you're around that, oftentimes you'll bring out the best in everybody that comes into contact with you, because you see the best in everybody and potential, you know. That's absolutely amazing.
Thank you. I think it's always really easy to see the beautiful qualities in other people. And it might sometimes be things that they're not recognizing in themselves, but I think it's just easier from the outside. You look at someone, you're like, oh man, you're so gifted at this. And I've had people go, really? I'm like, yeah, how don't you see that? Like, this is your thing. You need to do this. And I just think it's easier from the outside in.
It's all about perspective, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. Did you find that this spiritual journey, was that something that's been encouraged from anyone, or have you had that person that's been like, hey, this is good, and it's bolstered your belief? How's that worked for you?
So I was a pastor son my whole life, and I've always been a very like I've always taught to see the best in people and push, and be a good person. But I went away from church and stuff, and nothing against like the whole thing. My mum still believes in God, and it's beautiful. Like, she's a beautiful person. But I had to find in myself what I believe to be real for myself. And I'm not the sort of person that just gets told something. I want to experience life. And all thanks to my girlfriend at the time, she's the girl I'm dating now. She really like opened my mind up to a different side of life, one that is still in this world, but like the reality and the realization that, we're put on this earth to impact people with light, and we need to, I don't know, just the wonder of the world, being connected back to nature, like being connected back to my dad who's passed away. Like, I really feel him through me now. And like, now that like kind of doorway is open back up, it's like a familiar spirit from the past of when I was going to church. But in reality, it's all the same, like energy, energy flows through everybody, and it's the same thing. And so being able to be connected back to that, it really like, I don't know, it just gave me this new fire, a new passion in my heart to really want to see people people's hearts and give them hope, because people are living in a world where there's not really much hope. You know, you're hoping for the next Xbox to come out, but you're not hoping for that person to succeed, you know? And so I want to really instill value in people and value in themselves now. It's like, it's been a journey. It's taken a long time to get here. I've always been a positive person, but
I'd love hearing about it. Keep this girl around. She sounds magical.
honestly, best thing that's happened to me.
And just hearing you talk about it and the way you come to life, and man, the world needs you.
Thank you. The world needs you too. Like, it's literally like, there's so much darkness, and so it's so easy to get taken away by that, you know, and go with trends and stuff like that. But when we stand out and you're a beacon of light to people, you inspire and you drive people to want to be a better person themselves, you know. I just keep looking at that painting in the background. That's just the universe.
It makes me want to jump into it, doesn't it? I have that. I'm like, I just want to like fall into the cosmos when I see it. I have people think it's a backdrop too, you know, on Zoom. Sometimes you can have the space backdrop.
Yeah. No, this is all real. Are you, with your art, are you an artistic person too? Do you like to create art, or is music your forte?
I'm like at a stick figure level. That's where I am at. I appreciate it. I know nothing about it. I just know what I love and what I don't love. So it comes from a super uneducated perspective, but I appreciate anyone's artistic journey. And sometimes that's music, sometimes it's painting, it can be making bangles or clothes, or some people are gifted with hair and makeup and furniture design, and I don't know, whatever it is for people. I find myself, I'm someone that I get into anything that anyone else is into if they're passionate enough.
Yeah. Man, that's amazing.
You know, and so someone can be talking to me about like mowing grass, and if they're into it, I'm into it. It's like, okay, cool, there's different types of grass, and it's this and this, and I'm like, okay, I love that. Like, whatever it is. So like, I think I just appreciate people's passions.
You know, that's a very, very strong leader to say that, because somebody who can appreciate someone's passion and then draw that out in them and bring that out to where they start to shine in themselves, that's a very, very strong quality to have. Like, it's because a lot of people, if they're not interested, or if it doesn't suit them, they're not interested, you know, and it's not the right way to be.
Yeah, I just think so much from it too. Like, why wouldn't you want to hear about the things that people love?
Yeah.
What life is like. That's the joy. That's the actual moment. You know.
Yeah.
I don't really mind about the other things, but if someone can tell me what they love and what they're driven by and what their purpose is, I'm like, oh, I will talk to you all day.
Yeah, 100%. Can I ask you a pretty big question? In this world, what do you want your legacy to be? Looking back.
Wow, that's a good question. You know, I just want to leave the world a little better than I found it. And so I think at the moment that's through this music, which I'm calling Sonic Tonics.
Yeah.
So through Sonic Tonics, like sonic remedies. But I don't know in the future if that will grow into other things. I'm very, very open, but I just want to leave it a little better.
That's epic. That's good. And you're honestly doing that too. The way that you've gone above and beyond, and not just created a song, but you've looked into it, and then you've gone, I want to make a vibration that's going to vibrate throughout the whole, ripple effect throughout the whole of the universe. It's bigger, way bigger than what we can even physically comprehend, because we can't see the vibrations, if that makes sense. But those vibrations are really happening already. It's like, honestly incredible.
So grateful for this interview. Just so nice. It's just so beautiful to hear that back, because you think, oh, should I be doing this? And we all have those moments of doubt, and we all have, and especially in COVID, because you're not getting any real responses. You're just on your own. And so it's so lovely to hear. Thank you.
I appreciate you sharing that with the world, and sharing it with me, and sharing your heart with me too, in this conversation. That it's absolutely been, it's been one of those interviews. I was so excited about it, because I was like, you know, I'm like, oh yes, that this is literally the universe sending somebody along my way to talk to about this, because it's needed in this world. People need to need to know like the absolute like truth about what we're capable of as human beings, and speaking it out is one of those things.
I agree. I think we're just scratching the surface of what we're capable of. I think we're highly magnetic beings, and I think we're only just learning about this. And just like what you said then, so powerful about, you thought you drew this interview to you to help you learn about it. And we do that with everything, every experience, and I think once we're okay enough to admit that, because sometimes what we draw in isn't fun or isn't very nice, and then saying, hang on, I'm creating this. Let me stop, let me take a moment and step back, not be too reactionary, and just recreate the day that I would like to have. And I think we all have that power, and I'm definitely trying to harness that in music and trying to learn more about it. But I look forward to more people knowing it and using it.
Yeah, because you're like a pioneer in this, pushing out, like, showing people again, like this is what we're capable of. And then that's the difference with people who are winning and don't want someone to succeed, and people who are winning and want everybody to win. You're like, you've got the power within you to do this too, and then it gives them the belief, and that vibration keeps coming more and more. And that's the most like beautiful thing of this universe. Everyone moving together.
I agree. And I actually think that's more common than the other way. I think that people, if they think that, oh, there's only room for one person at the next level, like, who made this up? It's just the most bizarre thing to me. I see the opposite. I see like groups of people having success, and it's because they're around each other and they suddenly realize it's possible. So that, like, I see that so much more than just one lone person being successful. It's like, no, I see whole communities lifted.
Yeah, literally. Well, we're not evolution. It was not it was said survival of the fittest, but it's not survival of the fittest. It's the weakest die. And what that means is basically, like, we should all be living together as harmony. And then the weaker ones, they don't survive. And they go sort of thing. But we're taught as a young kids at the age of 5 to be dancing around a chair. The music stops, boom, chairs, everyone sits down, and one person has to walk off crying. And then the next time they jump up, everyone's near the chair, scared for their position.
So much. The game used to give me anxiety.
And that's at a young age we're taught that, instead of being like, everyone sit down, like, see, that was fun, we all had a dance, and everyone sit down, and jump back up again.
God, bringing back memories. That is so true. And it's, we're taught to compete, and we're taught this limited, and I think it works for products. Like, if you're selling a beauty cream, you want people to feel competitive. Like, you're selling, I think, just like heart-centered human beings, I don't think it really serves us to do that. I think if you want to be an Olympian, then it's good to have a competitive spirit. But I have the funniest thing, like, anyone I meet who's having success, they're typically really, really lovely. And I don't think that that's by mistake. I think it's by design. I think they're having success because people want to be around them.
Yeah.
They want success for them, and they've cultivated those relationships. And I just think that's where we are. That's what's going to happen. I think we're going to see more people lifting each other up, more people being open up to this. Like, younger generations just blow me away, just their openness. And I love that we don't have like labels anymore, and there's not as much gender imbalance. And I just think that I'm really excited for the new world, and I love seeing all this fresh new energy coming up, and I think it's a beautiful thing. And I think people like you and I, we're going to find more and more people like us, who want to see more of all the things that we're talking about.
100%. And what I'm noticing too, I've got like a couple of young, guys around me that are like my best friends, and and what you talk into their life and the way that you talk to them, like, then that impacts them, and then they go out and they're talking to their friends and they're pushing. And it's just, if we lead by example and lead by like just being good people, then the ones that are around you, they do the same. And then you find more people that in common with you, and it's just like you create this environment, this world that like is more about love instead of competition. That's exciting.
Oh, it's a beautiful message. I so love chatting to you.
100%. I better let you go. Thank you so much for your time. It's honestly, this has been a highlight. Like, so amazing.
Yeah, I'm so appreciative. It's really beautiful to meet you and listen to your music, and I will be following you from here on out.
Thank you so much. Same, likewise. And I'm excited about the EP that you're going to be dropping later.
Me too.
Awesome. Have a lovely day and thank you so much.
Bye. Thank you.
See ya. That was awesome. That was so much fun. Thank you so much, Jem, for joining us. Yeah, wow. I knew I'd be left speechless. I'm left speechless. She's an amazing person, shedding amazing light. So thank you so much. Anybody who's watching, stay tuned for the next Dapper Chats. It's going to be awesome. Hopefully we're going to meet more beautiful, beautiful people. Yeah, so have a blessed day and remember to always be a light to people.
In order to turn my dreams into reality, I speak it out and then I got a prophecy.